Well, I'm going to talk about this building, our body. And I'm going to talk about the much, much bigger building, the universe, and how we can tune this only thing that we own, our body, into all of the universal energies. Basically, my work is all about how to bring light into the body, and furthermore, that our body has the potential to create light. The body ought, in perfect balance, to be 80% water and 20% solids. And I heard a speaker talking about messages, or someone who was adding to the conference. There is only one medium for holding true messages, and that's water. And so if we wish to know who we are, we need to have a good receptive vehicle. And so you can imagine the difference between being 80% hydrated and 40% hydrated, how contracted the vehicle would be in hearing this message. So, where does this message come from? Well, we are children of the universe, and everything comes in from all stars, planets, all of the galaxies via light. And it comes in as a resonance. And so you have the macrocosm coming towards our vehicle, as I call the body, registered in the vehicle, but the big extra is for it to be able to get into our microcosm, which is inside our cell. So we have macrocosm, the building we live in, the vehicle we live in, and our microcosm represented within the cell. And it's here that nutrition becomes so important. There's a little rule in natural nutrition. The first principle: any kind of stress will be registered in the physical body as dehydration. The Eastern people know it as the water element, and it is the water element which holds fear and anxiety. So any stress registered on the water element as dehydration. And if dehydration is left unworked with for 2 years, the body itself creates stress. So you have stress creating dehydration, and dehydration creating stress. And so you find that the so-called incurable diseases are a catch-22 of this scenario. And so everything in our life, you know, where we live, our whole lifestyle, all can set up stress to dehydrate, to contract the ability to hold who we are. So probably the biggest stress that we experience is not being who we are to our full potential. So going back to our cell, this is where all of the information is about how to maximize holding light. You know, we look in our buildings for light, but I feel we've got so many things upside down the way that we're looking. So, how do we hold light, and how do we create light? Here is the cell membrane around this cell. And the cell membrane is triple layered: outer, inner, and the central layer. The outer and inner hold a charge, so they have a relationship with water. The center is made of fatty acids and saturated fat. And it's constructed in such a way that it operates like computer gates, opening and closing. the nucleus will hold a strong positive charge, the inside membrane a negative charge, and the outer membrane a very strong positive charge. And really the way of assessing a person's vitality is the differential between the inner and outer cell membrane. We call it the cell membrane potential. And when we lose energy in dis-ease, this becomes very weakened. Now, the significance of holding a very strong positive charge outside is to do with light. So when we've been to bed, body has cleansed, get up, that potential should be at its greatest. If we have our diet correctly balanced, from essential fatty acids, if they are bonded into a lipoprotein, have the ability to make electrons in our body. And these electrons are negatively charged subatomic particles. They carry a very strong negative charge, and they're made from the oils. So here we have the cell membrane, strong positive charge outside. These negatively charged electrons gravitate to the outside of your cell membrane and just attach themselves to be there. And so the better the diet and appropriate for that person, the stronger that cell membrane potential, the larger the electron cloud can be. And it has been found that the size of the electron cloud changes with the hierarchy of creatures. You know, so you think of sort of worm to bird and on. And humans have in common with whales and dolphins the potential to create the largest electron clouds. And it is said the more evolved a person is, the larger the electron cloud. So what is their purpose? Well, the electrons attract and store the photons of light. So living in a balanced building, in a balanced environment, the light goes in through the chakras, moves through the meridians, and will go to be stored in the electron clouds around each cell in your body. So there's the light surrounding each cell. So the light is the macrocosm coming in to encircle your microcosm with all of its wisdom and information. Then these photons attract oxygen. So here we have electron cloud trapping the photons of light, attracting the oxygen. So important, because it isn't just about being in an open space and practicing maybe pranayama or breathing. The cell has to be able to have the oxygen next to it to be able to go in. So here we have the perfect situation where we've got our microcosm with all of this information around it.